one thing that I love to emphasize is when there are bad breaks and you want to talk shit on a player or something that's out of their control, or if a player's just not doing well, I love to give them their flowers when they start to turn it around. Now, one of the main people that I want to bring in, one of my favorite players, and we'll give shout outs to Drew here. He's in Minnesota, gets to see this man firsthand. But ultimately, let's just say this much: Byron Buxton is getting over this minor knee injury, and not only is walking off multiple times, but also tying the game in home run fashion. This guy has been amazing. Let's just say this much: Sunday, after Buxton hit a game-tying 2-run homer in the 7th inning, he hit a walk-off 3-run blast in the 10th, and to complete a 3-game sweep of the White Sox. Again, the White Sox are struggling, but we have them to win the division. So for them to have this type of exclamation point to get the season started, to get the season series started, and to have this type of guy who everybody is kind of expecting to be the Batman of this team. He needs to be that leader. He needs to be there because, man, like, this guy's definitely a difference maker. Drew, your first impressions on this man?
I didn't expect the Minnesota pitching to be as good as it is, but you followed up with this, and this is the important part. So I'm just going to read this verbatim. This is from Jeff Passan earlier today. Since 2019, the Minnesota Twins are 73, a 101 win pace for a full 162 season, with a 203 positive run differential when Byron Buxton plays. When he doesn't play, Twins are not and have a run differential of -97. In his last 162 games, Byron Buxton has an 8.4 WAR, the definition of an impact player.
Yep.
And he's a glass house, right?
Well, let me say this much.
He's
to follow
now.
up on that, if I can interject real quick, because we were speaking about just a little bit about WAR, right? Wins above replacement, and the difference that Byron Buxton plays, right? So when he plays, as he's playing, let's just say on a per game basis, he leads MLB in wins above replacement since in 2019, in 2020, and in 2021. Just the way as he plays in a per game basis, his WAR is the best. And let's just say this much: it definitely outpaces the greatest Twins seasons in the history of the Twins. So that's including MVP campaigns from Joe Mauer. A lot of people know him. Harmon Killebrew and Rod Carew. I'm sure a lot of people know a little bit more about Rod Carew than you know about Harmon Killebrew. But you're talking about this guy hitting dingers, 470-foot dingers off of closers that made it to the All-Star game. Now, All-Star game's a little bit, iffy, especially when it comes to the bullpen, but there's a lot of bullpen guys to pick out of. Let me just say this much, though. When he's on that field, he's nice. And not just with the bat, but with his glove, too. Go ahead and finish what you had to say on that, on the last part there.
So I think for me, like, he's always been a glass house, right? You're our guy, hurt or not. We want you, to wear the Twins uniform for a long time. But it's translated into some amazing numbers. He's batting .351. He's slugging .946. That's at 1.361 OPS.
I love me some OPS.
Right?
You know that. If I can wrap this one up, because we definitely want to have a quicker show today. We mentioned it in the beginning of the season how the Astros lost a leader. As much as we do not like Carlos Correa, they lost a leader in him. Now, let me just kind of put a little bit more fuel to that fire, right? So it's Carlos Correa and Miguel Sanó. So I'm going to give Sanó a little bit more, some help there. I guess you could say just giving him some ups. Approached Buxton before the game winner to tell him that he was going to walk it off. This is the one before where he had 2 home runs to not only tie the game, but walk it off in the extra innings. This was a game beforehand. He went 0 for 3 for his first 3 at-bats. I think the first one was a strikeout, and he just didn't look good. He had better at-bats in the second little stint of that, and of course hitting that walk-off home run. Those guys went up to him, kind of reassured him, and this is what he had to say as a quote. This is straight from Buxton's mouth. Just having Correa come up to me, we talked a little bit, and he kind of settled me down for the last 3 at-bats. And it just lets you know that as far as players and where we're at as a group, we know how to get each other locked in, and that's just part of being part of this fun locker room. So I kind of just felt it, and I seen it. Carlos Correa gets his back, and now you have him in the locker room saying, "This guy is the best player in the game. This guy's the best player of the game." Talking about Buxton, and Carlos Correa has been playing with Alex Bregman, and everybody was claiming him to be the best player in the league at one point. And then you also have Jose Altuve, who is nasty on both sides of the ball, at least pre scandal. So with that being said, Correa is definitely a fan of his own team, and can definitely get them some more fuel to their fire. Any last words on this one?
A lot of the times you don't acknowledge the best players, with the exception of Mike Trout, as players who are on losing teams. So I think that there's a lot of players out there who are really, really, really good, who are just on really, really, really bad teams. And it's just one of those things where they kind of just fly under the radar. So that might have been the case with Carlos Correa's opinion on Byron Buxton. I mean, I don't think he's wrong. I think that Buxton's definitely, I think he's got Fernando Tatis impacts,
Yeah.
But Tatis is on a flashier team. There's a lot more names on that team. They're in a division that's, it's highly contentious.
Even in the division, look at all the teams in the division. They're going to get a lot more,
yeah, I mean, the
how do you
national
say,
spotlight's going to be on those guys because they're going to be on Sunday Night Baseball when they play the Dodgers or when they play the Giants or when they play the Yankees or when they play the Mets.
And then, they still have stars on that team too, so they're definitely going to get more outlook for the rest of national television. Let's just say that much.
Yeah,
but
I
let's
think
get on.
Byron Buxton deserves the praise he's getting. I'll just leave it at that. He's really, really good. He's really, really fucking good.
No, I definitely would have to agree with you on that one.